Hey guys, American Pizza Books here, and I'm back at you with another book review. I know it's been a while, but I am back, and I'm going to try to upload more to this channel more frequently, so because I want to grow this channel and everything. But today is going to be a review on It by Stephen King, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't even finish this. I got this particular version has about 1,153 pages. I got to about page 917 and I finally put it down because something in it just pissed me off that much and I was just done with it. So with that starting, you can probably tell that this is not going to be a very positive review, so I'm just going to warn it because I know that this is a favorite of a lot of people. I know for a lot of King fans, this is one of their favorite books by Stephen King. I know people just like this book in general, so if this is one of your favorite books, then you might not want to watch this video. There's plenty more positive reviews out there of this book, but I mean, if you're open-minded and you can handle different opinions, then maybe stay on this video. So yeah, I didn't finish this. Like I said, something just happened that just finally made me just go fuck this, and I closed it. And yeah, so I just, you know, like I don't know, like it's disappointing because I wanted to love this book so much because a lot of King fans say it's one of his best, and like with the movie, you know, out recently and everything, I really wanted to like this, but I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a bad book by any means. I don't think really any King book can be considered just horrible, but it just wasn't one of my favorites at all. So, and keep in mind, I've read The Stand and Under the Dome because he has 3 giant books. He has It, The Stand, and Under the Dome, and I think The Stand is even longer. And I enjoyed The Stand. I liked The Stand. It had a few things in it that I didn't really care for, but overall, I liked The Stand, and it would be like a 4 out of 5 book for me. Under the Dome, I really liked. I think I might even liked Under the Dome more than The Stand, maybe. And I know some people didn't like Under the Dome. I did, so I really enjoyed those 2 books, okay? This book is freaking long, obviously, and I'll get into it here in a minute, but I feel like that's one of the problems. I feel like this book was way longer than it needed to be, like way longer than it needed to be, but I'll get into that. So basically, I'm just going to do it like this, like I did with one of my other reviews, and I think this is how I'm going to start formatting my reviews. I'm going to start with what I thought was good, what I liked about the book, and then I'm going to go into what I didn't like about the book. So, what I liked about the book, obviously the writing. I mean, King is, when it comes to writing, King is one of the best. He's great. Sorry about that. Yeah, when it comes to writing, King is like one of the best. His writing is great as usual. Even though that's kind of one of my complaints later on, but the writing in general is really good. And then the characters, now I don't feel like these are his strongest characters. I know a lot of people would beg to differ, would disagree with me heavily on that, but I do not feel like these are his strongest characters, but I do still feel like that is one of the strong points in this book. Obviously, with King, you're going to get some pretty good characters. You know, you really feel like you get to know his characters because he really gives them a lot of backstory. He really builds them up really well. You know, just, I mean, if you've read Stephen King, you know what I'm talking about. The characters are just very well developed, very three-dimensional, most of them. And you just feel like you know them, you know, so that's the only way I can describe it. So the writing in here is pretty good as usual. The characters are pretty decent, you know, not his best, but not his worst either. That would go to desperation, in my opinion. And really just the way that the town Derry, the way he just writes about the town, he really makes it feel like just this small town with these mysteries, and you know, with Pennywise, you know, just being in this town and terrorizing this town, coming every 27 years. He does a really good job of building up that mythology and everything, just kind of that, you know, that if whatever, trying to find the word, but yeah, I think mythology would be the best word for it, just this mythology of it and how it comes every 27 years, and how something terrible happens, and Pennywise seems to be at the center of all of it, or sort of. He seems to be in the center, in the background, you know, but you know that he's probably one of the sources of it. So I guess that's what I liked the best about this book. Now getting into stuff that I didn't like. like I said, this book to me just feels like it was way longer than it needed to be. I feel like there's way, way, way too much fucking backstory. And with King, you usually get some good amount of backstory, but with most other King novels, I feel like it's necessary. With this one, I just don't feel like it's that necessary. I feel like he could cut down easily like 200, 300 pages worth of backstory and get to the same point faster. You know, like in the book, he keeps going into details of the history of Derry and events that have happened. And every time it's the same conclusion. You know, you find out that Pennywise was, I'm gonna call it Pennywise. You know, I'm not gonna say it the whole time. I'm just gonna say Pennywise. But you find out that Pennywise was there in some shape or form. You know, and that he may or may not have had, you know, what's the fucking word? He may have had something to do with the event happening in some shape or form. Maybe, maybe not. Most likely though. And this happens like 3 or 4 times. And it takes up like, I don't know how many pages. It's like, you could easily just like get to the same point way much faster without just completely getting off the topic and getting off the main story, you know. I mean, I will say though, there was one time in one of the backstories where the cook from The Shining, Halloran, what the fuck was his name? His last name, shit. Dick Halloran, yeah, Dick Halloran. He showed up in this book, and I thought that was really cool because I love The Shining, and he showed up in one of the backstories, and I thought that was just really cool. I was like, oh, hey, it's Dick Halloran. Like, I thought that was really cool. So, that was pretty cool, but, like, I just feel like a lot of the backstory really isn't needed. I feel like King could have gotten to the point way faster. It's information overload. So, yeah. Also, just, I don't know, just there was little things, and people might say that I'm being stupid by saying this or something, but like just some little things annoyed me. Like, I can't tell you how many times in this book there was a scene where someone says something or something happens or something, and then everyone in the room just bursts out laughing. Like, I can't tell you how many times that scene was written in this book. It was fucking annoying to me. It was so repetitive. Like there would be a scene, someone would say something or whatever, and then it would either be like everyone burst out laughing or everyone started laughing or whatever, some variation of everyone laughing, and it got really old really quickly. And towards the point where I put it down, whenever that would happen, I would just roll my fucking eyes. It was really annoying. It was, you know, just little things like that, and maybe no one else would notice that. Maybe it's just me, but I just really noticed that. Also, the group, which, by the way, I think a lot of people know what this book is about, so I'm not going to go, I mean, it's obviously, you know, Clown, Pennywise, terrifies town, you know, terrorizes the town. There's the group, the Losers Club, with, you know, Bill, Richie, Beverly, Mike, Stan, Eddie, shit, who else? Oh, Ben, yeah, Ben. So I think most people know what this is about, so, but anyways, getting back, just, the group has these inside jokes that are supposed to be funny, and I don't think they're really that funny, like the beep beep Richie, like, they say that whenever Richie is, like, talking too much or says something or whatever, and I just think that's really annoying, too. I don't think it's really that funny or charming. Like, there was one point in the book where they're battling it, at, like, the first time, and Beverly is, like, going to shoot it with a slingshot, and I think Richie says something or whatever, and she says beep beep Richie, and it's like, there's a serious dramatic moment going on here where you're battling it, and you're gonna seriously say the beep beep Richie thing, like, right in the middle of it? Like, are you serious? Like, that really ticked me off. And so yeah, just that, and and I feel like the ending, because you find out what it actually is, because I said I didn't finish it, but I've looked up spoilers, and I've read what the ending is, and I'm not going to spoil it to anyone who hasn't read it, but I just feel like the ending isn't really worth it, isn't worth the, you know, 1,153 pages that you have to go through with this book, and yeah, the reveal of what it really is just underwhelming to me. And plus, there is also a scene in this book, and I think most people who have read it probably know what I'm talking about, and a lot of people might disagree with me, but in my opinion, That scene did not need to be in this book. I'm sorry, but it did not need to be in this book. Okay? They left it out of the movie, and the movie, to me, was great. This is one of the rare occasions where I actually think the movie is better than the book. I thought they could have left that scene out of the book. It would have been fine. It would have had the same results. And I feel like the reason that it happened was retarded. You know, yeah, that's right, retarded. I thought it was stupid. It just didn't need to be there. And it's kind of sickening to me, to be really honest. So, but yeah, that scene. And then plus, you know, just the flashbacks, okay? Because it keeps going back to when they're kids. And then it flashes back to when they're adults. Goes to when they're kids, flashes back to adults. To me, I feel like it would have been much better just to either have the book formatted to where it tells the entire story of when they're kids, you know, and then part 2 can be like when they're coming back as adults, or maybe like at the beginning of the kids section, you can have like whatever it's called, like a prologue or whatever, or something like that, where you're hearing from like one of the characters as an adult, just where you're hearing from Bill, let's just say that, since he's basically the main character, where you're hearing from Bill as an adult and how they're all getting back together, and then focus on the kids section, and then like when the kids section is over, go to part 2 in the book, and then write the section where they're all adults and where they're all coming back, okay? Because then you don't have to keep going back to flashbacks and have to keep telling stories and everything. It was very jarring to me. It was very jarring, and every time one of the losers told a story, and that's I call them losers because that's the name of the group, the losers. But one of the losers told a story of what happened. It all had the same conclusion. It all had the same point. I mean, I guess I get what King was trying to go for, but I feel like it just didn't need to happen. I feel like or you know what? Even better yet, I feel like this could have been 2 novels. I feel like King could have written a novel of when they dealt with it when they were kids, and then the sequel could have been when they all come back together as adults and when they're facing it again, you know. I feel like that could have been done even, like how the movie is doing, when they're doing part 1, which just came out, and then they're going to do a part 2 when they're adults. I feel like King could have done that with this book, honestly. So the flashbacks, to me, just were too much, too jarring for my taste. At least in my opinion, they were jarring. And just some of the sections in here just felt overwritten to me. I wish I could have specific examples, but just, I don't know, just certain, when he's describing things or when he's talking about something, I just feel like the writing, the descriptions go on and on and on. It's like, okay, King, we get it, you know, this is that, and, you know, this is this, you know, I mean, if that makes any sense. No, I don't, but that's kind of vague, but I just feel like the writing is good, like I said, but I feel like it's overwritten at times. And to be perfectly honest, this book is hyped up as being, like, really scary and everything, and honestly, I really wasn't that scared. Like, I mean, I don't get scared from books, but, like, I wasn't feeling, like, you know, creeped out or, like, weirded out or anything at Pennywise really at all. I mean, I think the only time that I was really that creeped out was when Ben was seeing him as the mummy and he was coming towards him. I think that's the only time I was kind of creeped out. That, and there's a certain character in this book that, like, kills animals and tortures animals and puts them in the refrigerator. I thought that was scarier and more disturbing than Pennywise himself and just anything that the losers encountered, honestly. So, yeah, it just wasn't that creepy. It's hyped up as being really creepy, so I thought that was a letdown. But, yeah, so overall, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5. It's disappointing to me because I really wanted to like this. I really did. I didn't go into this having a pessimistic attitude. I really wanted to like this, but at the end of the day, I just didn't. It's not bad, you know, it's readable, you know, it's nothing, I wouldn't say anything that King writes is unreadable, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't one of my favorites. I thought Misery was scarier, I thought Pet Sematary was scarier, hell, I thought The Stand was scarier. That's not even necessarily a horror novel, but I thought that The Stand was scarier, so anyways, I'm running out of time, so that's it for this one. And I'll be back at you guys more with book reviews later. And again, I'm sorry if people I know a lot of people like this book. I'm sorry if this is irritating to you or whatever. I just didn't really enjoy this book that much, as it turns out. So it was all right. I liked some parts of it, but overall, it just wasn't worth it to me. So yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll talk to you guys later. So peace, and keep on reading.